Hi guys, yeah, and the Spoken Able still here with the wonderful Elisabeth Horan. Okay, over to you now, Elizabeth. And you're going to do, so people know you're going to do one poem from your first book. Look at that, just to the right. Then we're going to go into self-portrait. I think you're doing two short poems from that one, aren't you? Then we're going to finish up with a few poems from the mask.
That's right.
Over to you.
I'm very excited to read to you all. This is the funnest part, right? So yes, so this is me and Plath. So it's two poems because the first one I share my poem with Plath and then she responds to me with her own words. Okay, here we go. A son is born, the second. My son cannot remember the day he came to lose his mother. My son only knows I was sad before and that now I'm feeling better. I alone know the secret, the date of the day he lost me, and I'll tell you since I trust you. It was the day my second was born, came out shrieking, ghouls after me, the sinner. A lion roaring in the night, a mauled honey badger. Ah, yes, he was lifted right out of the smiling incision and laid skin to skin on my breast. And I remember thinking he looked odd, like a football player, helmeted with hair, laying on the nurse's table, red and writhing, a salamander underfoot. And then I remember my firstborn pointed at him and said, out. Plath says, Scrubbing Dishes, the title. Haha, child, this is all you've got. My nights are filled with sunken ships, filled with fetuses born of this witch. Little spines, crooked, broken, fingers, toes only count to 7 and curled, hideous, veins outside of transparent skin. A heart beats black, the lungs puff, sooted. My daddy takes me from behind, sings Edelweiss and Baby Mine, lines a gun up between my eyes. Dr. Mengele fingers the trigger, but I don't die, not even close. Rather, I sing to showers full of ghosts, women with rashes and pubic lice, men swinging low, ashamed, pissing scars of sacredness, trains of cows full of meat to market, whoosh by in a clickety-clack, the waving faces of Wiesel and Niemoller and Milosh. Inside carcasses, dear God, racks over racks of children, my mind inside out. Ted, dead, gone, ripped front to back, dick to head. Me, blue nighty, rooftop flyer. God says, go ahead, Sylvia, go ahead and be a martyr.
Oh, God, that second one's powerful. God. First one, obviously, first one is you definitely tell it's you. But I'm no Sylvia Plath expert, but definitely I've got friends who I know that are, and I think they would really like that. That was really good. That was excellent.
The tone shifts a bit, doesn't it, when it goes to her voice?
Yeah, you can definitely see it's not just you that when you've changed, the tone is different. So, excellent stuff.
Right.
Really, really powerful.
But I wanted to show you kind of like I come at her with this little poem about poor me, and she comes back with this raging,
yeah.
saga. Wow. That hurts so bad.
Wow. Excellent. Okay. On to self-portrait now, I believe, aren't we?
So here's this. And as we discussed a little bit before, this one really begins with her accident. So this horrific bus and trolley crashed in Mexico City, and she was impaled through her pelvis by a steel pole. It was a nightmare. She is from the suburb called Coyoacán, right outside Mexico City, which I've actually been to, and I long to go back. But so this poem is called Coyoacán from 1925, which is when she painted this piece. No one knows the breaking as I know the breaking of glass. It is the shards which get at you, not so much the steel rods or the splintered wood. Those do horrible things to human tissue. But the shards have a way. They get into the insides, into veins, in capillaries, under toenails, the mucous membranes. The eyelids might be the worst thing they do. The nurses come and I tell them, I say, ayúdame, no puedo ver ni la luz de la ciudad, ni la de la vida. They say, no hay nada más allá adentro, Frida. There is no more glass in your eye. There is nothing in there, querida. Life begins tomorrow, people like to say, because they will have children and they are not yet deceased. They have no shards of glass in their eyes, nor the steel metal rod implanted like a crude IUD in my uterus.
Tremendous, absolute tremendous. That again, it really felt like it was a different person you were in the voiceover there, and I think that's really good writing actually. That to be able to move along from like your own voice to literally just shown three different voices in few short pieces there. Brilliant.
Yeah. Might I do one more from this one? There's just
I'd love you to. We've got time. We've got time. Okay.
Okay. So this one's called Pensando en Diego, thinking about Diego. This painting she worked on from 1940 to 1943. And in both of these books, I should just mention there's a guide at the back. So like each poem, you can go look up the painting and be able to see the painting as you read my poems that you have. We weren't able to put the paintings in the book because of course, copyright, but it's available for you to go Google them all. Okay, Pensando en Diego, entonces. Climbing the pyramid in Teotihuacan, you tell me you love me as a man falls 10 steps, his arm badly broken, hikes the rest of the way back down the steep stairs with his son who is crying. We shrug and make out, tongue-tied babies, 19-year-old playmates, measuring the world in hotels and dancing. Later at El Museo de Arqueológico, me dices, quiero subirte en la cripta y hacerte el amor. I want to hide you in the crypt and make love to you. It's the best thing I've ever heard. Make love as only a Mexican can, selfish, incessant, with lips to die for. I paint you upon my eyebrow so you will remember me. Un tatuaje de la vida que tuvimos antes hace tiempo. And there goes the man with his boy, full arm cast in white. They are looking at artifacts from the time of Quetzalcoatl. And you and I smile at each other and kiss. We kiss till it feels like a strangle.
Wow, that's got real sort of. It's almost like it's very musical. That one is the musical, but set without a song in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, good. I'm so glad you found that.
Yeah. I could definitely see brilliant stuff indeed. So, okay, well, now we're going to move on now to obviously what we should have been talking about all along, really.
Let's
a couple of pieces of the mass to finish off with today.
Right. I'll start with The Mask, Volume 1. Okay. I started it with a song quotation from Marco Antonio Solis, which is, Si no te hubieras ido, sería tan feliz, which means if you had never left, I would be so happy. That feeling when life is ending, when you know it's time to go, when your eyes have gone yellow, cut holes in the retinas and turn them to blue. Oh, that house. I've told Ellie to make a new stanza here, to describe how I have died in that flowering house, the way in which women have flowered in that house. At 18, I was punctured in the way a sword enters the bull, and yet I did not die. Neither did I die when you fucked my sister, querido mío. See how I will never succumb to anything but my own body. I wear this because I feel ugly. I wear ribbons to cut the blood flow, to incite the beauty. My dog still loves me. The punctures remain. My monkey adores me, and I owe so much money. Make a new stanza here, please, Ellie. Make them into cold rooms, lock the doors. Let's hide inside the liquor and pain. Hacemos algo, amor a la mexicana. When Alejandro left you deformed, and now me too deformed. Diego, if you love me, come and make love to me one more time in heaven, por favor. Come and fuck me in my mind.
Wow. So, that's got the musical feeling in the first piece, but there's more. I think there's a sadness behind that one. That it's like it's almost like a pleading, isn't there? So, really beautiful stuff. Really beautiful stuff.
I think in
sad as well.
In self-portrait, there's a lot more anger. You know, there's kind of this defiant anger with Diego and, you know, at the world. And this one is a more of kind of this acceptance of what's happened to her and her life, and that it is going to end. And there's more of a solemn acceptance, if you will. But
yeah, no, definitely see
anger at Diego, especially. But
I'd expect little else from what I know of here, Frida. Okay, I think we do one more. We need to conclude with from the
I'd love to do. I'd love to do. This is called Four Inhabitants of Mexico City. We have no toes, my nurse and I. Beautiful ripe breasts juxtapose the lack of a mother, the masculine square shoulder, The shadow spreads across me. Oye, Judas, puedes darme un poco de espacio? Just because Diego likes you near, sick bastard, thinks it's so odd and funny, whispers in my ear, ha ha ha, mira mi reina, fíjate mi vida, the men are all here, commanders of the Zócalo, las mujeres but figments of the past, meek figurines of future abandonment. To have had a child, to have kept my toes intact, my uterus intact, I would have had to praise the easel of a man. Lied to Jesus at least 30 times, estuviera sido traidora a la Xochiquetzal. And I would not do this to Hamas, to her, the woman who fed me from her breasts and who removed with knives her own toes as an act of feminine solidarity in 1934. It's just not fair for children to suffer such horrible nightmares, to play with the dust and rocks and sell gum, while the sovereign masculine gods don't lift a child from the earth to soothe her. The female has been rendered useless, displayed, al medio de este zócalo íntegro, amputated, inert, punctured, flaccid uterus.
Wow. That's one put me to tears, that one. Wow, good grief. Extraordinary. No, really, really powerful stuff, Elizabeth, that. So it's like, do you look back, obviously, I'm going to ask you a question to finish off with here, this one. Do you look back and you look at these pieces thinking sometimes, my God, have I wrote that? I think you do, like, I mean, because poets sometimes, I know I do it sometimes,
Yeah.
you look at yourself like, and then you think of the imposter syndrome, don't you?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah, I do some voice sometimes. Look, that was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I feel really proud of the poems I've done. You know, like I don't take it for granted that I'm like amazing. I worked my ass off for
No, it
these,
shows.
you know?
It really shows in your work there
And
today. That's
I
why.
tried to, you know, I tried to do her and do Frida and Plath the honors that I took it that seriously, you know,
Yeah.
because you look like a real jerk if you kind of half-ass these and, you know, oh, I wrote about Sylvia, you know, no, if you're going to take that on and write in her voice, you need to
You've
take
got
it
you've got to
really,
you've got to know what you're talking about, because otherwise you'll
yeah,
make yourself look an absolute good
yeah,
English word,
you look,
crap.
yeah, your hubristic pride won't serve you here. So I don't know. I feel grateful to them, to these women, and Dickinson is another one I've done a book on in her, which
Brilliant
you
stuff.
might like as well. But so yeah, yes, sometimes I look back on poems and I'm like, oh my God, and I'm like, wow, I was really depressed, or wow, I can't believe I published that, things like that. Or I often will think like, I hope I can do something like that again, because you know
Yeah,
you.
no, I know that works. No, definitely so. Okay, we're running out of time now, so we'll wrap up this bit. I want to chat to you off microphone anyway. So, but Elizabeth, it's been a pleasure today. Keep in touch. Whenever your next collection's out, you're welcome. Always welcome back in here again if you want to come on.
Thank you,
It's been a pleasure today.
It's been an honor to be here. Thank you.
Okay, guys and girls. Well, to quote the immortal Don Callis, formerly of Impact Wrestling, this is a saying I always use now, Elizabeth, to finish the podcast. He always uses saying as, stay safe and stay over. And as I always say, we'll see you next time. Take care.